Welcome everyone to a castle game for Age of Empires 4, and today spawning in the north corner of the map, playing in red, we've got Give You Anxiety, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. And his opponent in the south, playing in blue, we've got Lunine, playing as the Malians. Welcome everyone to Cliffside. It's a great map in Age of Empires 4. I'm excited for this one, especially because we've got GUA, Give You Anxiety. I mean, watching his game sometimes does give me anxiety. Some crazy games he produces, and I'm excited to see what Lunine is up to today with the Malians. The HRE versus Malians, an interesting matchup. I'm enjoying this one because you've got an HRE civilization at the moment which does actually do feudal age pretty well. Like, they're pretty solid, especially with the eco that they have. The prelate, 40% buffering on the villager gather rate, not too shabby at all. The Malians, they're a civilization that actually, if you play up against them, you kind of want to force them into making units. But I gotta say, sometimes units they make are pretty decent. You know, you got the Donso, you got the javelin throwers. I mean, what's to hate about those units? They're very, very good. And so, in a situation where actually, this is a fascinating matchup, because a lot of civilizations in Age of Empires 4 and the dynamics between them, you start to think, well, which civilization has the dominance in saying, well, I mean, I feel like some civilizations just say, hey, look, I want to do what I want to do, and it's up to you to try and stop it. The HRE and Malians can make a case for both can make a case for that. Like, the HRE fast castle into relics is a devastating thing if you let them get 5 relics. The Malians, on the other hand, if they get the cow boom untouched, then well, you know, don't really want that to happen either, because the food economy goes crazy with the Grand Filani Coral, and it's not ideal, that's for sure. Either way, it means that we're going to see a situation where maybe they're going to lock horns in feudal age, maybe an extended feudal age potentially, maybe they both rush castle and go that way. It might be that one player sticks out in a feudal age and one other goes for a greedy castle age. We'll have to see. I think if there is a civilization that would try greedy castle age, it probably would be the Holy Roman Empire, because their castle age is more about timing to pick up the relics, whereas the castle age for the Malians is more about getting the Grand Filani Coral and getting the extra food coming in from the cattle ranches and the cow boom. We shall see. It's going to be the Mansa Quarry, landmark of choice for Lunine. No real surprises there. Arkan Chapel, definitely no surprises there for the HRE. It's going to be a fast castle. Look how many villages going on to gold already. 6 of them. They're going to be inspired as well. And it's just curious. Like, he's going pretty early with his number of villages. I suspect he's trying to gather as much gold as he possibly can, just in case he's pressured off it. You don't really want to be pressured off it if you're going to, avoid it. And if he is pressured off it, if he gathers enough for castle age and then goes out to food, he should be fine. And he's got literally no one on wood. Interesting. Is he going for a super fast castle? This is kind of bonkers, right? I mean, I suspect these villagers will go over to wood. He's got 4 villagers just behind the town centre. They're hiding a little bit, but you will see them if I rotate the camera. There they are, on the sheep. That's all he needs for villager production to remain constant. On the other side of things, Malians, I've already got the first pit mine, as you'd expect. Question is whether he's going to go for the second one. The only problem for the Malians is the gold is really far forward. This is a situation that's not ideal for the Malians at all. Because, I mean, effectively, you need gold as the Malians, and this is very contestable. The gold zone cliffside are very much usually in the middle. So the HRE, that gives them a good focal point, but it looks like HRE are doing their own thing, really, looking to get the gold for the castle age. How's it going, Joe Josh? Welcome on in. Is it a live game? It's not, but it's recently casted. It was a recently played one. It's played today, actually, earlier today. So it is a replay. I have no idea who wins, but it's not super live, but it was played about an hour ago or something like that. No worries, welcome on in. And if you guys are watching on YouTube and thinking, who am I even talking to? I'm streaming live on Twitch. You guys know this by now. I've been mentioning it in most videos, to be fair. So yeah, I am streaming live on Twitch and on YouTube as well, actually, on a separate channel from my main one. I'll leave a link in the video description where you can find that. And the reason why I split it up, by the way, I know you guys may know me from my YouTube channel and the main one, but I wanted to leave that for the VODs and the very best games that I've casted. Not all of the games that I cast will make it onto the main YouTube channel, because I know that, well, I don't want to upload rubbish ones. I'm going to make it such that if there's ever a game I cast that's uploaded as a VOD on my YouTube channel, it's going to be a banger of a game. Because then I know that you guys are going to enjoy it, and it means that you're going to come back for the next one. And it means I don't waste your time, because, you don't really want to... What you don't want to do is spend 15 minutes on a really bad game. Like, you just don't want to do that. So I'm going to avoid that. And the reason why I'm going to separate the live stream channel is because you can't guarantee that on live streams. You don't know what games you're going to get. But I also, put it on YouTube so that people who do want to chime in on the live stream side of things can do if they want to. Speaking of that, by the way, thank you everyone for the support. I appreciate it. And G-Way, yeah, he's going for that really fast castle. In fact, wait, is he going to go for the... Wait. He's got no one on wood. He's got 0 villagers on wood. And I can't help but think that means one thing. It means it could be a Burgriff. Okay, maybe not. It's going to be Regnus. Okay, fine. He just really wanted that castle age. But the thing is what he's going to do with it? Is he going to go just straight for prelates and get the relics? That's super, super greedy. He's going to need a production building now. And the reason why I thought maybe it's going to be Burgriff is because that is obviously an incredible production building. But yeah, he's not going for that. He's going to pick up the relics first and work from there. Can I just say this is super greedy? It almost feels like it's just a challenge for him, just to try and get the fastest castle he can. Because he's not going to be able to produce anything when he gets to the castle age. He's not going to have any sort of map control. He's not even going to have control of his gold. But the Malians have been forced into making units. So, yeah, the dynamics of the matchup is that the HRE being super greedy in terms of tech up. And the Malians, well, they're going to commit to some feudal age aggression. Opting to add in 1 mil, it's quite typical that you still make cows for the Malians with the feudal age army production. And just try and scale the economy slowly but surely. That way around it. Well, that's the Regnus Cathedral going on up. He really committed a lot of villagers too, so yeah, 7-minute castle age time. And now he's going to go heavy on wood. To be fair, with the 40% buffering and the prelate inside the Ark and Chapel, I mean, it's okay, he's going to get there. I might lose a scout just about... No, oh god, he doesn't quite manage it. That's unfortunate, by the way, because he wants the vision. He's going to need the vision. Overall, he's only lost 2 villagers out of all this onslaught that's coming on in. Having to be putting down a house, rushing it down. And, well, definitely an interesting game. Definitely interesting playstyle and options for Giro. Adding in a second barracks too for Donsos. Now the question is, what unit type is Giro going to go for? I feel like it's probably going to have to be a barracks, right? Because can he really go for stable units up against Donsos? I'm not so sure it's going to work out too well for him. Going to go for an outpost on the east side. Just to secure the berries and the wood, I guess, in a way. And, okay, it is going to be stable. Okay, I mean, to be fair, he's going to have the movement speed advantage, so he can navigate his way around the map. But it does mean Donsos in key strategic areas will be able to protect the key economy, whether it be the pit mines and whether it be the villagers. I gotta say as well, though, the way that GO's played this out to try and get the castle age quickly for the relics hasn't really been maybe in tune with the map spawn, because gold is... Yeah, this is a relatively easily area to press, right? And it's not in range of the town centre by any means. Yeah, I don't know if GWA's played this a little bit awkwardly, considering the map spawn. And let's picking up the relics, bringing them close to the outpost at least. They're trying to get some more, I guess. Where is the other prelate, actually? Oh, there he is. Picking one home. Now, Cowboom has been delayed, of course, because it's made units. All villagers having to rush down the outpost, having to pull away the weak villagers, which is okay. He's only got 2 javelin throws after all, but villagers do have to back away. No, oh, he loses one. Oh, that's unfortunate. No textiles, as you can see. Horsemen, though, jumping on top of the javelin throwers, and they'll take care of that. The outpost will go up in the end, and he will be able to go back onto gold. Just as well, because he's going to need to... I mean, he's making horsemen still. That's the crazy situation, right? The castle age at this point really was just purely for the relics. Nothing more to it than that. And Javelin Thrower is going to stop out some of the villagers on the north side of that area. Alright, 5 villagers garrison inside. Does have emergency repairs, so going to be potentially losing a couple of Mustafadi warriors because of this. I think this is okay for GUA, although he's having a lot of idle time, which is kind of okay for Lunine. I think that's really what he wants, and he's now able to take out the pocket resources in the form of the deer. That's going to give him a good food income boost. Yeah, he's spending everything he's getting, though. So Lunine, very similar to the matchup that we had with Lunine versus GUA in a previous match. He's going to be playing a very heavy feudal age against the HRE. nearly worked out for him then. And never know, maybe it worked out. He definitely did a lot of damage, so you know, put him in a good position in that match. Maybe we'll do the same in this one. Survival techniques is in. That'll help him gather extra food from the deer camp. Well, not extra food, but faster food gathering on these villagers on the deer camp. He's starting to pick up some of those relics, though, which will make the castle age pay off somewhat. If you can get maybe another 1 or 2 of them. Mustafadi Warriors was just keeping an eye on that relic, but Horseman will take care of that, and then I'm sure that relic might come in. I wonder if the HRE are going to be up against even more units from the malians. Yeah, they're heading that position, right? He's recognizing that's the relic that he wants to try and contest. With Donzo's there, these horsemen won't necessarily be able to keep that relic safe. He's also got another Donzo down on this relic. Doesn't want to give them away. He's got another relic in the middle to try and protect as well. G-Way possibly might try and sneak one out. He's actually going to go for plenty of villages on stone. And is that going to be for a second town centre, or is that going to be for a keep? That's a curious decision, actually. It might be for a keep. Or will it be just for emplacements in the outpost? I think he's got way too many villages just for it to be emplacements. Alright, on the back of this. Has a decent number of cows, 9 of them. Not fully surrounding the Grand Fulani Corridor, but we'll be building that landmark before too long. And it's going to be springald emplacements inside the outposts. Yeah, not for a keep, mostly just for emplacements. Now Lunine doing a great job of actually denying the relics being picked up. Although Prelate might be picking this one as I say that. He's going to pick one up. Gem throws maybe trying to contest that, but I don't think he can really deal with it. Unless this army from the south, from the east rather, comes on in. It's going to be Donzo's hitting across, and I mean, ultimately, even if the relic does get deposited or gets destroyed or gets dropped by the Prelate, it's going to be right close to home. So going to get another outpost. G-Way extending the outposts and playing this defensively aggressive. Well, yeah, defensively, and then maybe thinking about, I mean, would he be going for the Imperial Age behind this? That would be kind of crazy, right? I mean, it was crazy enough that he went for the Castle Age so quickly. With 3 relics, gold is trickling on in, so it might be an option for him. But the concern for the HRE is probably going to need a farming transition, right? Doesn't really have the military presence to defend pocket economies, although here could be a good spot. The deer camp there could work out well for him. He's taking the fight. Donzo's, oh god, they're rushing on in. That's a lot of cavalry. That might be under a lot of pressure. And the Donzo's, yeah, they're not going to make their way any further forward. There's an outpost in town centre after all. I'm surprised to see this pit mine not taken, by the way, for Lunine. Alright, cavalry moving west here for G-Way. Starting to get a bit more presence on the map. It feels a bit more comfortable moving out. At least he's got the movement speed in terms of cavalry. Villagers on wood might have to relocate a little bit. They're going to garrison inside the town centre, at least some of them. But he loses another. Lunine has done a lot of damage, right? He's killed 10 villagers in total. That's pretty impressive. Can I get some more? Most probably. Yeah, he's really going after those relics, G-Way. He's got 3 so far. 2 more possibly coming on in. He might deposit it inside the outpost, actually, which would be pretty significant. Donzo's charging on in. Still continuing to try and get as many villagers, but they will be taken down slowly but surely. Oh, he gets another one. This is really good damage. He might get another one. He does as well. Great value for these Donzos. Oh my god, even another. The ranged attack, or the ranged dimension to these units is actually kind of crazy. Yeah, he's killed 18 villagers so far. Gee-way, he's lost. Oh, he's down to 28 villagers. Jeez, is there a way back from him? That's going to be tricky. He does have all 5 relics. So the gold income, 560 so far. That's the equivalent of about 11 villagers, I'd say. In fact, more than that. Much more than that. Yeah, about 12 or 13 villagers. And that's going to be climbing because the 5th relic just got deposited. But he's got food coming out of his ears here, Lunine. Comparatively, at least. On the deer camp around the back. The cavalry might look to move in that position, but Donso's going to keep the area safe, patrolling that southern area of the map. Does leave things a little bit exposed down the middle, though, and down the middle, got a couple of archers moving on in. GUA with the movement speed of those archers. Might snap the village out on wood, maybe go for the gold. Yeah, I think it's a good spot to really attack. We talked about earlier in the cast, this is a key contentious area that GUA will want to pressure at some point, and that timing has come now. Good reactions there for Lunine. Cavalry coming on the southward line, picks off a villager, so he's getting a bit of payback. He's getting some great value here, actually. Riding around the back. Yeah, it's picking off villagers left, right and centre. Oh no, the ranged attack from the archers, picking off villagers, and yeah, I mean, Lunine is losing a lot now. The pushback has come in, and can't help but think that the relics had a lot to account for that. And now he's starting to get the eco upgrades. Double Vortex came a while ago, getting Wheelbarrow too. Adding in a siege workshop, interesting. Mangonels could put him in a good spot. Doesn't really have the wood for it yet though. Spending a lot of wood on production. He's walling up on the east side here, Lunine. Now 5 relics and 2 sacred sites. That's pretty good for the HRE, although about to go down to 1 sacred site most likely. Although, having said that, he's going to get the one on the west most likely as well, so could be keeping up at 2 eventually. Oh no, Lunine, oh no, Lunine, oh no, this is a massacre. He's not spotted it yet, by the time he spots it, it's going to be, oh god, it's a massacre. Oh jeez, guys. Oh god. All that hard work done earlier in the game by killing villagers from GUA, it's kind of undone because of that. It's a big mistake. Now these two players are on the top 100 player list in Age of Empires 4 right now, so make no mistake about it, these guys are not amateurs. Oh, they're in the top 100 in the world, so that should tell you something. The Safari Warriors being thrown away a little bit. They get absolutely demolished by these archers. But he does have a veteran suffer that will switch things up a little bit. They'll be a little bit more adept at dealing with the longbows, that's for sure. Veteran suffer trying to back away. The charging knights catch up to it a little bit. And he's also going to get devoutness, so the 40% increased gather rate is going to be up to, well, 50% now. Also, they can construct 25% faster out of the defenses. It's kind of cool, especially if you think about getting keeps and whatnot. Right, GUA going for the 6 site on the west side. He's got the one on the east side, and he should be able to protect that for a little bit longer with those 2 knights. Shouldn't be a problem. Right, units being pushed away in 2 fronts. I gotta say, Lunina's got a lot of units. Pushing on the right and in the central. But he's got his army split up, so wants to, you know, avoid taking a big engagement without all his army forces together. Well, wait a minute. Okay, alright, Lunina's gonna try and wall in GUA. It won't happen, but, oh, it might actually happen because the horsemen didn't deny that, although the villagers are backing away for now. Knights riding on out. Now, I think the veteran soft, if I'm not mistaken, have they got better movement speed? 1.73. Although some of them might be charging in. Yeah, there was 1.73, 1.62. So definitely have that movement speed advantage. Taking the fight. I mean, the villagers could garrison inside the outpost to help out. Maybe he's just not convinced the arrow fire will do too much. So Donso's getting good value now. He is garrisoning inside. Might have to because those knights are winning that fight, actually. Oh no, he's going to have to go back in towards the gate and then wait for the reinforcements to come on in and help out. Knights on the south. Trying to get even more value if they can. And this little group of army for the HRE have to back away. And Lunina's going to have to rely on his defensive capabilities here. Defender's advantage. And, well, it will come out on top in the end. Alrighty, farming transition coming in for the Malians. And that's going to help things get a bit smooth. Well, I say farming transition, it's not really a transition, it's just got from some farms. Because he's got the cattle he needed that he could make. You could make 2 more cattle, by the way. That's always an option. The maximum is 20, of course, at any one moment. It's decapping the sacred sites. Lunine has a definite military advantage. And I wonder whether at some point, Jiwei feels confident to get to the Imperial Age once he does have a massive army. And, well, look at this. He's got 3 mangonels. That's definitely going to help him. There's a lot of infantry out for the malians. So the Sofa will add in a different dynamic to that fight. See Sofa trying to raid a little bit. But Spearman on hand. And yeah, ultimately, Lunine can't really do much with this. Oh, no. You definitely don't want to fight that. That's a big no-no. And he's got a lot of map control here, Lunine. Question is whether they can make it work for him. Oh, the music is so good for the Malians, I gotta say. Let me know in the chat, actually, in the comment section below as well on YouTube. What's your favourite music, or what's your favourite civilization's music? Or what's your favourite music? Yeah, which civilization? Yeah, wait. Which music belongs... What's your favourite music and which civilization does it belong to? That's what I wanted to ask, really. It's very late for me at the moment. I'm exhausted. So word's a bit of a problem, but hey, we're going to plow on through and try and get this game casted to the best I can, because it's such a good one so far. 3 mangonels, kind of edging forward, backs away for now, trying to bait in the army, but Lunine is wise to the ruse. He's not going to engage that, that's for sure. Nor are there some antis... Oh god, okay. Well, Jiwei's losing even more villagers. That's a bit rough. He might even get 5 more because there's a decent amount of torch damage coming in from this veteran Sofa, and he does have an iron undermesh, which definitely helps. And taking a fight down the middle, Sofa diving on the mangonels. Spearman there, they're going to be engaging, and yeah, well, the mangonel gets a good shot off, does lose 1. A spread formation comes out for the javelin throws, and Donso's going to rip through a lot of the cavalry, but there are a couple of lance canisters, by the way. That's going to do... Oh my god, the mangonel shot's absolutely huge. He only took out 1 mangonel in the end, but he lost so much because of it. And yeah, this is an issue. He's on the back foot. Oh, Sofa coming from the west side there. Might get on top of the mangonels. Yeah, the army's not in position. Jiwei is being caught a little bit. So he should certainly lose 1 mangonel, possibly a second. We shall see if he manages to get the second. I think he might not. No, he won't. It's close. Although the Springle, though, if the Springle can catch up, he's committed. He's not going to be able to. Lunine loses the Springle in the end, and he's going to be aggressive still with the Soft around the back. He's got 31 villagers so far. Jiwei still at 39 villagers. We're 22 minutes, 23 minutes almost into the game. Loses the Springle. Jiwei pushing on forward with those spearmen. Oh, javelin throws. Oh god, that was bad. He needed to back away, but he's kept him moving further forward into danger and harm's way. And the Soft are causing a lot of idle time. Jiwei's economy is in tatters. Like, a third of his economy is actually idled right now, and it's only 39 villagers got in total anyway. Gonna dive the town centre. I'm not so sure about that. Defender's advantage should work out pretty well here for Lunine. Needs to take out the spearmen if you can to allow the Sofa to do their work. Spearmen heading on east to try and chase down the Sofa. Sofa will be able to get out of there relatively quickly. Alright, decent number of infantry units. Start to torch down those pit mines, which is not ideal. Going to lose the passive gold generation. Somewhat, at least. Well, the veteran Sofa, they needed to keep on running. Spearmen do a lot of damage to them. Alright, Lunine under all sorts of pressure. And Jiwei behind this, going to be getting a sacred site. It's already got 5 of the relics, so plenty of gold coming on in, or they probably won't get the sacred site. Veteran Sofa pushing that relic away. Diving on in, but he will lose a Sofa or 2. There's not huge amounts of spearmen. He's going to take the fight. He's going to lose... if he doesn't lose 1 Sofa, he loses a lot of HP at least. And Jiwei making a move down the right side. And he's got a good number of military units, especially with the siege. This is a bit of a concern for Lunine, although he does have a defender's advantage. And he's starting to make... Oh, lance cannon on the wood line. Oh, God. Okay. Lunine, he's losing a lot of villagers again. There's a Springwood on the field, looking to go for the Mangonel. The Mangonel needs to be careful here for Jiwei. Gets 1 shot, he loses it. Oh, God, that's unfortunate. Sofa in the north part, in the middle of the map at least. Having to ride back and might be able to snipe out some units here. We'll have to see what he manages to do. That's a lot of infantry. He's coming around the right side. This could be... Okay, this could be a big battle. I mean, there's units coming in from all sorts of angles. The Sofa going on for the horseman. Veteran Sofa trying to go to the back line of the crossbowmen. But yeah, there's a lot of spearmen. This is not looking too great for either side, to be fair. Veteran Soffa got to clear up the army on the west side for the HRE, but Spearman number's still good on that cliff. Crossbow number's good as well, but that's a lot of Soffa. I mean, if those Spearmen go down, the Soffa are then going to jump on top of the crossbows. They might jump on top of them anyway. And he's going to go for them. And that's going to be a good fight here for the malians. Going to get on top of the crossbows and thin down the numbers. A great fight for them in the end. And thank you for the raid. Appreciate it there. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome on in, guys. Welcome on in. Yeah, the crossbow number's going to dwindle. And, I mean, ultimately, the malians got a really good engagement there. And Jiwei is on the back foot. Is behind economically and is behind military. He's grouping up in the middle and possibly going to take him for some more cost-effective trades. Jiwei has to be careful not to just take in more bad fights. He's got to be fair, he's got 2 mangonels, so that could change things quite quickly. Mangonels deploy on the Soffa, gets a good hit on them, but the Soffa, you know, they're not too vulnerable to the mangonels ultimately. Oh, it was a massive mangonel shot there, but he's got a lot of spearmen to try and protect them. The Soffa might jump on top of them. Anyway, mangonel shots do get a bit of damage. He loses one, loses the second. And again, that's a really good fight here for Lunine. He's starting to really steamroll. Another mangonel about to, that's about to go down. That's very expensive units to be losing at this point. Things going from bad to worse for GUA. And Lunine starting to get a lot of map control. Walling up was done earlier, and yeah, really achieved a lot of map control because of it. Massive farming transition. That could be part of the reason why GUA hasn't been able to keep up military production, but now that the farms are up, it should be okay if he can defend the next 5-10 minutes. The deer camp on the east side, and the boar still there potentially look to be taken, but this is going to be an area that Lunine's definitely going to look to pressurize. There's even a trebuchet on the field, so Malian's really starting to get a bit of a momentum. The GUA is far from out of this. Oh no. Oh no, they suffer. They got aggroed onto the outpost. So many died for free. That's unfortunate. He's looking down the middle. He's got a good force down the middle, but little wins like that for GUA will be able to pull him back into the game. Chasing the spearmen, which will probably happen indefinitely unless these units stop running. It has happened before. Oh no, is he? Okay, that's the end of the waypointing, and then they're going to turn around and fight. The spearmen are quite far away though. Alright, starts to move again. Did lose a Soffa in the end. And the biggest concern for GUA is this right here, a massive military siege involved as well. Oh no. Alright, the Soffa gets taken down in the end. Now behind all this, the miners could actually look to just get plenty more pit mines if they wanted to. I've got to say though, GUA is still holding on pretty well. He's pumping out units, and I think a lot of it comes down to the 40% buffer. Look at the amount of food is coming in with a solid number of villagers, 35. And of course though, bearing in mind the numbers of the economy, Lunine, not only does Lunine have the villager lead, but the cow boom, the cows aren't counted into this, right? So that's something to bear in mind. It's incredibly population efficient. In the meantime, the trebuchet continues to get some damage in. And Soffa gonna go around the right side. They're gonna get some raiding value. Maybe on the food on the right side could be an option. Would make a lot of sense, and he's gonna go for it. And GUA doesn't have the army there just yet. It's grouping together in the middle. Wood could become a problem actually. I mean, like, there's a bit of wood on the back, but once this all goes, where does GUA go to? Oh no, GUA, not again. He's losing villagers. Oh god. There's so many villagers dying in this match, and the army's just not where they needed to be. And again, a massive raid for the veteran Soffa. This is not looking good. behind this. Lunine going to go for the Imperial Age. And GUA nowhere near that. Considering, you know, the HRE should be thinking about getting the Imperial Age a little bit quicker, considering it's a bit cheaper. They're going to struggle with that. Gets an outpost in the wood line, but the Sopha probably going to dive this. They're going to lose their lives anyway, but might get a couple of villagers killed, or maybe they would just keep running. We'll have to see. You know, goes for the villager first. And they will go down, but behind all of this is fine for Lunine, because what it's doing is forcing the HRE to stay at home with their army. That allows the tech up coming in safely and securely on that gold vein. Could have potentially been a bit more aggressive with this, by the way. There's a gold vein here, potentially could have protected, but didn't want to overcommit and do anything crazy that might lose the game. Back on the deal with 33 villagers. So it's going to be very reliant on the farms. Understandably so at this stage of the game. 31 minutes, of course. And there's that Imperial Age. And GUA has an option. He has to be aggressive and do some damage before the upgrades come in for the malians, or he has to think about going to the Imperial Age himself. He's got to make a decision. Looks like he's decided to be aggressive. Oh, Trebuchet caught out there a little bit. That's unfortunate for the malians. Lost it very cheaply. And a second one potentially. And Mangonel? No, he's got a couple of units. He will lose the Trebuchet, or maybe not. He's going to go for the Mangonel first, but massive Mangonel shot. He was on top of the man-at-arms, though, so they're pretty tanky. Okay, this is going to be a massive fight. It's going to be difficult to tell necessarily who wins it. Tries to come in with a flank of Veteran Sopha on the right side, but GUA spots it. So he won't be able to take out the Mangonels in the end. 3 Springalds on the back line, but can't really get on top of the Mangonels, unfortunately, but it's a good aggression. I mean, to be fair, it looks like a fight that HRE will win. Landscaneshta mixed in. This is a massive army. There's man-at-arms, Landscaneshta. There's crossbows in behind as well, and it's looking dicey for the Malians. He's have to back away. Does have the Fort of the Hundreds to retreat too, but I mean, GUA might just ignore it and walk on through, and this is going to be a good push out. I mean, GUA was on the back foot for quite a period of time, but all of a sudden, things have definitely escalated. Things have definitely changed. And look at that, 81 military to 20. Oh god, the Malians, they're struggling. He's got the Imperial Age, but it's going to count for nothing if he doesn't actually have any units. Villagers, oh no, they're tumbling down. The archers, they're not looking good at all in the ground. And he's going to keep on pressurizing. The biggest problem for the Malians now is GUA is just going to keep flooding. Like, he can just keep trickling on units. And he will eventually take out the Fort of the Huntress. No boiling oil, no cannon in placement, and that's going to go down really cheaply. Just the sheer torch damage coming out, and all this economy is going to be idle. There are 4 Springals that might go down really quickly. The Fort of the Huntress does go down in the end, and yeah, this is looking really dicey, to say the least. And GUA might just continue to stick out in the Castle Age. No real need to really go beyond that. Doesn't have to commit to the Imperial Age just yet. He's going up against Elite Sopha, but crossbows, man-at-arms front line, could do well against it. Now Landscaneshta might do a bit of damage in a good clump of those. Alright, taking the fight now, and well, it could go on top of the Springals. That might work out for him. The Sopha in good numbers, but maybe not good enough. He's got a couple of Musafadi gunners. But the man-at-arms, they'll take that front line in a heavy way. Even if they're Castle Age units, they'll still do decently well against the Sopha. He's obviously got heavy maces in, and Landscaneshta getting a lot of value too. And I mean, this is going to be an overrunning, right? I mean, he's just got so many units. The sheer number, even though they're out-teched, it probably doesn't matter at this stage. Looks like Lunine is going to be possibly tapping out soon. I mean, it makes a lot of sense to how will Lunine come back into this. Loses 1 Springald, and villagers committing to that to repairs. Does still have the cow boom, and that will help with the food income. Very good still food income coming in, but struggling for the gold, struggling for the wood. Don't forget, all the gold is pretty much far forward on this map, at least in this particular generation, and he's not being able to gather at all. Does have 1 pit mine still working out. And GUA, though, has lost a bit of momentum, lost a bit of steam, having to head back. He's got to be careful not to lose the Mangonels, actually. That'd be pretty cheap. We'll lose 1 at least. Manages to retreat with the other. All of a sudden, the pendulum has swung a little bit. Lunine is picking, you know, some good fights. Getting gold on the west side. We'll lose another Springald, though. I think. Yeah, there we go. Eventually. Oh no, loses the Mangonel. It's a bit tit for tat at the moment. I've got to say, with the tech up now, with the Elite Sopha, things are starting to escalate a little bit for the Malians, especially with Elite Archers and Musafadi Gunners. And so the teching of units, actually with equal numbers, is looking okay for GUA. Going up against Landscaneshta, though, they'll get some good value in this particular fight. Malians have to back away. I think Jiwei has enough to hold, but the question is, will he be able to get to the Imperial Age? It feels like he's hard stuck in the Castle Age, because if he does take up, well, he's not going to be able to produce units at the same time. He's got to make a decision. He's got to find the optimal timing. I mean, and plus if he does go to the Imperial Age, it's got to be the Palace of Swabia, right? Although Elsbach, it would be a good static defense, which is kind of what he needs at this moment, but I feel like the Palace of Swabia, just such a strong landmark, it feels like he can't not go for it. But I gotta say, the number of villagers each player has killed is kind of crazy at the situation. 36 minutes into the clock, players are already on their 67 villagers or 61 villagers. It's a very different playstyle, different game for sure than what we're usually seeing. Splitting up the army, he's had good success in this type of strategy earlier. Lunine keeping a couple of Suffer going north and splitting up that army. Now we're going to have to keep an eye on those veteran Suffer. They might come around the back at some point to try and take out Siege. It's always a possibility. Suffer going around the back, but there's no villagers on wood this time. He's learnt his lesson, Jiwei. Man-at-Arms jumping on through, and it's going to need a couple of... well, I mean, the trouble is the Malians don't get crossbows, right? So it's going to have to rely on Musafadi warriors, which could get decimated by Landsknechter, if there are any. There are a couple there. Might be about to take another fight here. I think it's going to be a decent fight for Jiwei, although having said that, he still Castle Age units. Does have one Mangonel, and yet Lunine has to back away. And all of a sudden, Jiwei's economy is actually looking decent. He should be able to get to the Imperial Age relatively soon, if not already, with the Palace of Swabia. He just has to build it. But the problem is, he's being raided around the back with veteran Suffer. And the food income stalled a little bit, just temporarily. But overall, lost a couple of veteran Suffer, and that's not terrible for the HRA, because now Lunine doesn't have the massive army that they used to, and it will be the Palace of Swabia. There's time now for the HRE to build on up, and if he gets elite man-at-arms, elite horsemen, this could be a dangerous army to come up against. 26 villagers building that Palace of Swabia, so they're going to get there quick time. No messing about, no hanging about. I'll tell you, he's not hanging about either. It's the Malians heading forward with the veteran... Well, I say veteran, it's actually elite Suffer now. Heading back towards the middle of the map. Jiwei, he's not committing to any fights that he doesn't need to, right? He's playing the smart. He knows he's an age behind, or he was an age behind, so he has to wait for all the upgrades, but they're coming in quickly, and once he does get the upgrades, it's going to be a problem for Lunine. I feel like Lunine's being a bit passive. Like, there was a window of opportunity to push, but the problem is, I guess, in a way, he doesn't have the unit numbers, although, but I mean, he's got equal numbers, and they are higher teched up, and I think Lunine needs to go. Because the big concern, if he waits for longer, these units are going to become Imperial Age units, and the upgrades are coming in any moment now. And once they do, it feels like it's going to be tricky for Lunine to... It'll be trickier than it would be now if he attacked. He's attacking now. Going for the houses, maybe just looking to population block and just keep these units active, I guess. Maybe a bit of a distraction coming in the north with the veteran Suffer as well. That could be... I mean, the thing is... the real problem for the Malians here. Lunine doesn't have the momentum. Lunine needs siege. He needs to take out infrastructure because you can't really raid the HRE to death. Okay, you kill one villager, doesn't matter. Two more pop out from the Palace of Swabia. And so raiding the HRE to death is tricky. The only thing you can possibly do is try and keep the economy idled and then come in from a different angle with another army, but it's tricky to do when you split up your army. And now it does have some siege in the form of a bombard. It feels like it needed to be there a little bit early. We shall see if Jiwei can hold on and push back. It's a bit of a tricky situation here. He's grouping up his army to take one decisive fight, and if he takes it well, this could be a situation where whoever wins the fight will just win the game. I think it might head that way. It does have cannon emplacements coming on inside the outpost. By the time it comes in though, he might not get it up. Okay, he will. This is actually a problem actually, because does he commit to this? He's spent the resources, so it will come in. But the trouble is, once it comes in, it might be taken down. I mean, it does have emergency repairs, which is certainly helping. The bombard continues to fire off, and to be fair, the emergency repairs, holy smokes, it's working clutch here for him. Couple of veterans suffer, or elite. I keep saying veteran, but they are elite now. Round the back. And loses a mangonel to the Springles. Mangonel, oh, does get, oh my god, he lost 2 mangonels for free there. That's unfortunate. That's going to take a massive turn on this fight. That could have been totally different with those mangonels. Goes in spread formation. He rides on in with the cavalry first, charging on in, and there's big, massive units. There's a shame there's no mangonels here. That would have been a big difference. Suffolk running away from the Manatar's meat shield if they can. Allowing the Donsos to engage a little bit, but it just feels like maybe the HRE just have a bit too many units. Although the Musafadi gunners, those Musafadi gunners are going to get a lot of action here, and they're going to do a lot of damage to the horsemen for sure. I mean, it's a tough one to call. I mean, I think, yeah, we'll have to just wash and wait. I think the Musafadi gunner is going to rip through a lot of the units, but there's not much of a front line anymore for the Malians, and it feels like GUA are going to start collapsing on those Musafadi gunners. Without meat shield, it's going to be really problematic, and yeah, this is going to be a good fight here overall for GUA, but will it be enough to push this back fully? Because there are still units trickling on through for the Malians. They're holding firm, and they're not down and out just yet. Mostly crossbows for GUA, which is not ideal against the most fighter gunners, and there's a decent number of them still remaining. That's actually what's going to win the fight. And alright, now this is the problem situation. He won the fight, coming with the soft around the back, and it forces GUA to spread out the army, and yep, the units are being idled. Villagers are being idled for the HRE, and Musafadi Gunner is going to camp on top of this. We said that that's a critical fight. That was a critical point in the game. And gee, wait. I mean, he's got, okay, maybe he can be rated to death. He's down to 35 villagers somehow. I think it's because he's trying to get the keep on the west side. He didn't quite manage it, and yeah, he's lost so many villagers in the blink of an eye. Lunine pushing on in, and he's trying to commit to get the keep up, but he's just going to keep losing villagers that way. Yeah, this is definitely tricky now. Does have a good amount of food and can print the villagers. Down to 36 villagers. That's looking rough. The keep will go up in the end, but he lost so many villagers in a blink of an eye in the raid and the fight. He's got a couple of hand cannons of his own. Again, the Sofa trying to kill villagers, and they are doing just that. The big concern now is that whilst he can produce the villagers fast, like, he doesn't have that many farmers, right? It's a lot of idle time. And he's struggling to produce 18 military units. He's gonna need a lot more than that. Now, I'm kind of surprised they didn't go for the sacred sites. Like, Lunine could have activated that potential win condition. And that would force GUA to have to try and find a way to get out onto the map. But, yeah, he hasn't activated them. Moving ahead now with another bombard. By the way, it may feel like GUA is in a really bad spot, and he probably is. But this landmark, the Palace of Swabia, we've been here in this sort of situation before, and this thing can save people. Not down and out yet here. The bombard's starting to work on the keep. We'll have emergency repairs to rely on here, the HRE. What it won't have to rely on is a lot of wood. So it could turn into a bit of a wood game. GUA might struggle to gather safely. Lunine just waiting for another 200 population. And maybe might be looking to move on in. Now bear in mind, whilst he has lost a lot of villagers, GUA, he does have 5 relics. But I do love the addition of the bombard to this, because it just keeps up the pressure. There's the cavalry from the HRE in response, though. Oh, almost looked like they thought about pushing on in, but decided against it in the end and backed away. Couple of horsemen rode on it just to get mostly scouting information, I suspect. Speaking of scouting information, that's a lot of warrior scouts from lunine. It's a very food heavy unit, but it's they can frontline a little bit. Could potentially be used for their torch damage against siege. We'll have to see. This is very standoffish, right? GUA. The big thing is lunine is allowing this to happen. lunine is allowing GUA to build on his military and economy back up again, and it doesn't feel like a good move at all. I don't think GUA is too bothered about losing house at this point. Yeah, it's going to be making a move out. That will give the signal to lunine to say, hey, look, GUA is kind of struggling on wood in some ways. Alright, about to dive in potentially. The Sofa leading the charge. 3 bombards behind, by the way. Going to take out the town centre. That is the capital town centre, so possibly looking to get a landmark victory. Needs to keep the bombards safe and secure, that's for sure. It's got a lot of Musafadi gunners. I could use the scouts as a bit of a distraction. That could be ideal actually. This could be nice actually for lunine. If lunine goes for the warrior scouts on the villages on farms, keeps them idle. In the meantime, bombards move forward and protected by the gunners and the Sofa. It could be a really clutch play. And he could also just send some units here because a lot of villages unguarded. Possibly a 3-pronged attack, we shall see. There it is. The scouts are going for the villages on food. Yep, Sofa pushing forward. And the bombards. That's exactly what we thought might happen. The army drag didn't hit eastwards for GOA, allowing the bombards to get a couple of hits on the keep. The keep will go down in the end, even with emergency repairs. After all, it is 3 bombards. Warrior scouts acted a bit of a distraction, got the keep for free, and now needs to try and protect the bombards there if he can with the gunners and the Sofa. Now, we'd love to see the scouts actually move in this position. No, he doesn't need to. He sent the Sofa. We talked about this. There's always a threat that happened, and yeah, he's doing everything we thought he should do. We've got the bird's eye view, though, so we've got to give all the credit to lunine to actually spot this himself and do it. He's charging on here. GUA, 82 military versus 97. This is a big fight. We kind of expected. Maybe he wins this fight, might win the game. He's sniping out a couple of the mangonels, and that's important because mangonels can definitely turn a fight like this. Warrior scouts are tanking, allows the Musafadi gunners to fight on the backline. There's a lot of manatars from the HRE, and to be honest with you, the HRE units, yeah, Sofa are great, but the manatars can do well against them with heavy maces. Is ripping through the scouts anyway. And at this point, I think scouts just took a valuable population that could have been with more premium units. The Manatams really going to start to overrun this. Has hand cannoneers as well, and lunine just can't break this. And I mean, GUA, it's going to be a tough one. Does have a good number of gunners to get through. And the Manatams are gap closing, and they're ripping through the gunners now. And the hand cannons, they're back there for the HRE, forcing the gunners to head back away. 2 culverins, if they're lost, that's a lot of resources pumped into them. The warrior scouts still trying to buy some time and tank on. Definitely good pushback for GUA, and maybe the pendulum has swung. Maybe he's gaining momentum. Despite having lost 142 villagers, he's still very much in this game. The question is, will it be coming down to gold? I mean, for the HRE, they do have 5 relics, which will help a little bit, but ultimately, the malians can keep doing this with premium units. They've got still a couple of gold veins to take. A couple on the right side as well. Alright, but still, some blacksmith upgrades are missing, believe it or not. He's now getting the 3rd and final farming upgrading. Precision crossbeating, that's going to be pretty great for the food income. Not that it's bad at the moment, but hey, every bit of efficiency helps. 2 culverins looking to get some value, but needs to be careful not to be dying to the outpost. Does back away. Could use some villagers to repair. That's exactly what's happening. Lunine gonna repair that culverin and keep it alive for as long as possible. Getting an outpost on the right side for the vision. Toll outpost. I've got to say, the army numbers are looking decent for lunine. Doesn't feel like it's got a lot, but it's got a lot more than the HRE apparently. 60 to 40. Alright, well, it looks like lunine is waiting for another push at some point. Oh, well, the top out. Oh, I don't think the top outpost goes up in the end. That's a bit unfortunate. They're spotted by G-Ray. Oh, maybe we'll go up in the end. Okay, well, send a bit of software to deal with that, and the outpost does go up in the end with the villager building. It's grouping up together again. Lunine, they're going to go for another push in, and I wonder if G-Ray has enough to do with it this time. It looks like he does. Very similar sort of army composition to what just happened before, the last fight. Look how many farms are going for. Holy smokes, that's a lot of farms, guys. That food income skyrocketing. And I think it's going to be limited by gold and wood at some point. Farming, of course, is absolutely kind of infinite of food. But wood is isolated on the map, and so is gold. Gold is partly taken care of by the relics, but not enough to maybe sustain a full Imperial Age army push. Speaking of which, that push is kind of coming in now. Ram's taking up population space and buildings and houses. I think maybe, to be fair, that's kind of in some ways smart, because he probably realizes that G-Ray is struggling for wood. So everything he can do... I don't know about this. He's going to lose a couple. I'm really not sure about this one, G-Ray. Yeah, that's 2. No, that's going to be 3. He should get a 4th one here. He does. And we'll perish, but we'll have to come back to that later, because look at the fight. Massive fight ensuing. Warrior scouts on the front line, gunners on the back. There's a bombard too, and to be fair, the HRA have got good mass of man-at-arms and their own hand cannoneers behind them. The hand cannoneers whip through the cavalry if they can. Man-at-arms will tank and also do decent amount of damage to the cavalry as well, to be fair. But look at that, another army coming in for Lunine. Great army. In fact, Lunine, I think, killed villagers. Must have sacrificed villagers down to 74. Must have killed off villagers, and while pushing on in, allows population space to now commit to army. The army is going down for G-Ray. He's really struggling. Another force of Suffolk coming around the back, and there's so much mobility here. And going, oh god, okay. Well, there's going to be even more villagers dying around the back. Lunine has kept the G-Ray and the HRE busy for so long. Regan's Cathedral under siege. Villagers having to repair that as well. So a lot of the economy is being idled, kept busy doing things they don't want to. 2 one bard and 2 culverins pushing on in, and the army here just looking way too good here. 90 military to 7. G-Ray, he's run out of answers, run out of steam. The pendulum has swung, and there it is, ladies and gentlemen. G-Ray taps out Lunine. Takes the game on Cliffside. It was a fantastic game of Age of Empires 4. Hope you guys enjoyed it on YouTube. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be casting plenty more Age of Empires 4. Take care, and see you next time.